All right, Michigan. You wanted me to get back on here as to vent. Well, let's see. I was in Lansing today, and we went to the Equal Pay Day Coalition. Now, don't get me wrong. I'm all about equal pay for men and women. I believe in equal pay for equal work. It's simple. But the way Lansing's going about this, this Equal Pay Day Coalition rally, there was less than 100 people there. And let's see, 5 of us candidates showed up. One that I didn't even know, but now that I've gone back and looked at the list from MLive, Mark McFarland is on the list. They just couldn't find his information to connect. Now, he is another Republican that is running. But this Equal Pay Day Coalition rally that went on, it kind of ticked me off because it was more about the senators and the state reps patting each other on the back instead of being there to support equal pay. Like I put out in my post, that they should have been there a lot earlier than what they were. Come on. This has been an issue for decades. The Republicans and the Democrats haven't done a damn thing to straighten this issue out. There's a lot of problems like this through Michigan, but they just want to sit there and point fingers at each other. They don't want to take care of the problems that are hurting our families and our state. They'd rather bicker between each other than doing the job for the people. So, I'm glad to see you're on here, Rick. You must have got the notification. I appreciate you jumping on here. The issues that I have when I went to Lansing, I stood there next to Mark McFarland the whole time for the whole rally. They introduced us, and I was thankful for that. But at this point, you have 2 lead candidates for the Democrats and the Republican Party. And at this point, you have Gretchen Whitmer. She's a Democrat. She's the lead Democratic candidate so far, as most of us would know. Jim Hines was the first Republican to declare that I thought of up until just recently. Mark McFarland declared back in December of 2015. Like I said, I didn't see a posting when MLive done it, but I went back and read the ad. And yes, he did declare in 2015 in the month of December. But Jim Hines has been out there campaigning where I don't know much about what Mark's been doing. So I'm considering Jim Hines the lead Republican at this point. Of course, May 30th, when Brian Calley gets in there, that'll shift. We'll see. But what's making me mad is they didn't seem it was important to go to this rally. Well, what I don't understand is why all these senators and state reps were there to begin with, other than, like I said, to pat themselves on the back. Well, I got to thinking about this on the long drive home. We got midterm elections coming up. This is why all these senators, and there was probably 20 state senators and state reps that were standing up there behind the podium, getting the applauses that they're trying to help this out. Well, in my opinion, and I've said this all along, I have not changed my stance on this at all. The two-party system is broken. They've lost touch with the people. They don't care what goes on with our families, because if they cared what was going on with our families, they would help some of the major items that are going on here in Michigan. We have outrageously high health insurance, which is completely in the state's ability to put a cap on to help our families out. We have outrageously high auto insurance, which on my platform is a major item to be taken care of. I mean, granted, our roads are a serious situation here in Michigan, and we will deal with that. Unlike my predecessors and the two-party system here, I will keep my promises on what I put out there. I will lower health insurance here in Michigan. I will lower auto insurance here in Michigan, and I will fix our roads. We will bring our schools back up to a national standard instead of saying how Michigan is declining in our schools and education. We will bring it back up. There's no doubt about that in my mind. The problem is we need to get past this Democrat and Republican Party. Yes, I'm an independent. I am unaffiliated with either party. That shouldn't be an issue. For once, you've got a candidate that will keep his word. If we elect another Democrat, I'm not even going to say elect another Republican, because Michigan isn't going to re-elect another Republican because of Rick Schneider and his galley of unsociables, let's put them at that. They've let Michigan down. They've poisoned an entire city. But I'm not blaming that just on the Republicans and not on the city. It's a joint thing. Either way you look at Flint, the Democrats and the Republicans both have a part in it. Any one of them could have stepped up and helped Flint out, but they chose not to. They chose to ignore the problem. They chose to ignore the people in Flint. This is basically how they've reacted to everything that needs to be taken care of here in Michigan. So I've started this little revolution, and I'm part of it and proud of it. We need to learn to say no to the status quo. If you really want somebody to get the job done for the people who will listen to you as the people, and have these fireside chats once a month to let you know where we are standing and where we are going with our plans for Michigan, then I am the candidate for you. May is a big month for my campaign. May is the month that we have to raise $50,000 in order to open our first campaign office, in order to start hiring people to work with this campaign. And I am so grateful for the volunteers that we have at this current time. They are putting forward their time, their effort, and helping this campaign move forward. Our funding is running low, but we are still going forward. I am not dropping out of this race, even if I have to turn into a write-in. I am not letting the two-party system beat me for this position. I feel in my heart of hearts that this is something I have to do. We need somebody in there that will listen to the people, not just hear you and then walk away. Now I'm getting ready to go up north to Oscoda, and I've had some people wanting me to come up to Houghton Lake and Higgins Lake and Hancock. I am going to put you on the schedule, and we are going to come up there and talk to your groups and your communities. Even if I have to drive up there by myself without any of my committee members, I will come up there. And within the next month, I will be in those areas. I will be in Oscoda in less than a month, and I will come to Higgins Lake and Houghton Lake. I'm tired of hearing all that's going on with the Republican and Democratic Party. It's time to say no. It's time for an independent to walk in and work for the people. As an independent, I don't have to abide by the Republican and the Democratic rules. I will only be abiding by what the people of Michigan need and want. I don't have to be held to what they seem to feel needs to be done, because their best interest is through their lobbyists. Whoever gives them the most money is who wins. Well, that doesn't work with me. I'm not a polished politician. I'm not going to say I'm one of the great orators or anything like that, but I'm real, unlike the two-party system. These people have managed the decline of our great state. I'll tell you this, and I'll put it to you as simple as I can. When I'm elected governor, I will almost guarantee every working family in the state of Michigan that I'll make sure that you have up between $6,000 and $12,000 more in your monthly income, in your annual monthly income than you do currently. And that's by 3 different steps that I've talked about all along that I've been running. Cutting your health insurance, cutting your auto insurance, and eliminating your personal property tax, your property tax on your primary residence. I had somebody correct me and say that we do not have personal property tax. Well, my home is personal property, and if you're taxing it, I consider that personal property tax. Maybe the language ain't perfect, but you know where I'm coming from. Those 3 things alone will put $500 to $1,000 in each working family who owns a home. It'd be a little less if you don't own a home, but it'll put $500 to $1,000 more in your monthly income just by eliminating and lowering those 3 things. And as other people have said, well, how do you plan to pay for our schools and our law enforcement and fire departments? The key words that I stated, and I have said it all along, is the restructuring of Michigan's tax system. Something that none of these elected officials, I'll refrain from calling them what I really would like to call them, but something these elected officials will not talk about or try to do. They've talked about lowering our state income tax, but that's been a promise that it was supposed to have been taken care of 10 years ago, or not, if not longer. This is something that I feel passionate about, and this is something that I know can be done as long as I get the people of Michigan behind me. I'm not doing this because I want glory and fame. I'm doing this because I feel this is what Michigan needs. Somebody who's not going to take no for an answer and go out there and work hard for the people. I've sat here and listened to all kinds of candidates saying, oh, we're working hard for people. You're not. Most of who we have up here, other than Dwayne Reynolds and myself, and I think Jim Hines, all of them have been in politics before. They are going to go right down their party line no matter who we elect in there. If they're a Republican or a Democrat, they are going to follow their party lines, rules, and regulations. We cannot go down the same roads that we have been going. For decades and even longer, they have constantly followed what their party wants instead of what the people need. This stops with my election. This stops when the people turn over and say no to the status quo. But I do need your help. I need you to get off your couch, go to your desktop or laptop, or heck, even your phone. I need you to make donations to the campaign. I'm not asking you for large donations. If you can spare $3 one month, $10 the next month, I don't care. Whatever little bit counts. Any denomination helps. We need to get this campaign rolling at high speed. I am going to be traveling all over Michigan. We have been doing the Common Sense Tour. We've been to Monroe. We've been to Kalamazoo. We've been to Lansing. We've been to Jackson. We've been to Flint, Saginaw, Port Huron, and we are continuing. I will not stop until this election's over and we win for the people of Michigan. This is not a win for me. This is the win for the people of Michigan, because I will follow through with every one of my campaign promises that I have put out there. And I will not stop until we take Lansing. This is for the people of Michigan. I am sick and tired of listening to all these Republicans and Democrats saying they are trying to do the work for the people, but they are being blocked by the other party. These games have to stop. They stop with my election, because I will not tolerate them violating the rights of the people. Our courts, they're running rampant with all kinds of corruption. Law is supposed to be letter specific. It is not with these courts nowadays. They have broadened the laws to encompass whatever they want. This has to stop as well. You have judges profiting off every court case that comes in there. They are playing games with our rights. This stuff has to stop. And I know sometimes I ramble on, but I'm sorry. I put this out on Facebook that I may be venting, and I am venting tonight. I've seen things that should not be going on, but they are continuing to go on. And as a person of Michigan who is involved with our political campaign right now, I am stepping forward and I am stepping up this campaign. Those members of my committee that are on here and listening to me tonight, it's time to step up the game. You need to reach out to your friends and family. We need to get donations in here. We need to get things going. And I mean, by the end of month of May, we need to open that office. We have chosen Flint as the center of our beginning for our campaign office. I want to send a message to Lansing that will reverberate all the way to Washington. I had some woman on here, and I won't mention her name. If she's listening, she'll understand what I'm talking about. She said she had my vote, or excuse me, I had her vote until I mentioned Trump. Well, here's the thing about Trump. Whether you hate him or like him, he was elected by the people of this great nation of ours as an agent of change. Whether he does good or does bad, I don't know. We have to wait and see. But I will tell you this. The games are still going on in Washington that are going on here in our state. The Republicans and the Democrats like to tell everybody they're at war with each other. It's not a war. You need to be doing the people's work. And if I can change that here in Michigan, I don't care what goes on in Washington. Because it's the state's responsibility for the people in the state. Now that I'm calming down a little bit, I vented a little bit, let me see what we have here for any questions that are on here. Tony Bunker, I appreciate you sharing the video, and everybody who's on here, share this video, get this message out to your friends, get this message out to your family. We are coming for Lansing. We will take the Capitol in Lansing. The Democrats and the Republicans are done playing games with the families of being here in Michigan. We are sick and tired of their games. It's no more finger pointing. It's time to get down to the people's work. It's time to make our families in Michigan stronger. I will help rebuild our middle class. We will bring jobs to Michigan, and that's simple. By the restructuring of our tax codes here in Michigan and eliminating all the loopholes, we will bring companies here to Michigan. We will get rid of this Common Core stuff and bring in STEM for our children. Our schools, I'm hoping and I'm planning on making our schools up in the top 10 again instead of the bottom 39. What this two-party system has done to Michigan is appalling. The mismanagement, the misappropriation of our taxes, we will straighten this out. And we will straighten this out as a state, not as me running everything. With these monthly fireside chats that I have on as one of my campaign promises, I will come to you, the people of Michigan, even if it's Facebook Live, all over the state or whatever we have to do to get this message out. I will talk to you monthly. And I promise you this, it won't be just from Lansing. Because I plan to travel all over this state of Michigan, helping and finding out what the issues are for these communities that are in there. We have 83 counties. And here's another big thing coming up. We have a census in 2020. There's this big gerrymandering going on where we're going to redistrict and redraw our lines for our districts. The way this two-party system's been doing it, who's ever in power is going to redraw these districts so that they get more voters in these districts. We will put a stop to that. We will have a third party. Hell, why can't we just go by the district or county lines for that matter? Well, yeah, but then you'd have too many people in one district than the other. There's got to be a simpler way to do it, and we'll find a way to do it. Corey, you got on here, we need to teach more history and government in school, seeing how most kids dislike those subjects. Well, I'll tell you what, we need to teach more constitutionality, not just history and government. We need to let our kids know what their constitutional rights are, and so that they really know what they are. We need to get more people involved in our government that aren't politicians. We need to get people who have common sense come into the government so that we know that we are getting actual people that want to work for the people and not for the money that it generates from lobbyists. I have refrained taking money from small corporations. I'm not going to say that General Motors or any of them have tried to fund me, because I'd tell them no as well. But the whole thing is, I don't take money from corporations. I take money directly from the people of Michigan as their contribution to my campaign. This is why I said, I need your help. I'm sorry I got sidetracked here, Gary. Put constitutionality and common sense, yes, very much so, and that's exactly where I was going. These two parties have lost their common sense. Like I said, they go where the most money is. If you're a lobbyist for Big Pharma and you put a big check in their campaign funds or their war chest, they listen to that. And they vote the same way. They could care less what us, the common people, are doing. They could care less that we're suffering, but they like to play the role that they care, but they still take those big checks. You know, and next week I'll be in Lansing again. Some of you may agree or may not agree. I am 100% for the legalization of marijuana in Michigan. I cannot find, with the 9 months of research I've done with Colorado, I cannot find a downside. I've talked to police officers here in Oakland County. I won't give you names or which divisions they're working for, but the whole thing is they are actually for it. You go by Colorado's numbers alone. 2016, $1.1 billion in sales. Translate that to Michigan, twice as much, $2.2 billion. Colorado, over $150 million in taxes the first year. Translate to Michigan, between $300 and $400 million. I had a woman say, well, if we legalize marijuana here in Michigan, the crime rate goes up. Wrong. Colorado, 10% drop in their crime rate. Addiction levels to heroin, down 8%. Addiction levels to opioid medications, down 12%. Addiction, did I say heroin? I don't remember. Either way, there's three of them. Methamphetamine, opioid addiction, and heroin. All of them dropped when they legalized marijuana in Colorado. Here's the thing that I want to do different for Michigan. We've already got Big Pharma coming up here into Michigan, trying to take over the medicinal area of marijuana in Michigan. Here's a promise that I'll make to the caregivers and to the people of Michigan. When I'm elected governor, we will legalize marijuana in Michigan for recreational and medicinal. They will be kept separate. There will be no companies coming in from outside of the state of Michigan. I promise you that. We will keep it strictly Michigan residents only that are allowed to have the license in Michigan. We will protect the caregivers so that they are protected from Big Pharma. We will not have Canada coming in here with the OBDs or whatever they are for the medicinal purposes of it. Big Pharma, this will be kept medicinal for Michigan residents only. It'll be Michigan residents that have the license, it'll be Michigan residents that produce, and it'll be Michigan residents that sell. Plain and simple. This will be Michigan's only. We will not allow companies to come in from Colorado and fund people here in Michigan. No. It will be Michigan residents only. This will be Michigan's way of gaining income for this state. I will not allow other states to come in. I will not allow other companies to come in outside of Michigan. This is something I feel strongly about. If we're going to allow this here in Michigan, it's going to be run by Michigan residents. It'll go directly from Michigan tax base right into this state. Nowhere else. As far as with auto insurance, I am ticked off with this MCCA, which is Michigan Catastrophic Claims Account. Not many people know this is the reason why our auto insurance is so high and expensive. The MCCA, like I said, Michigan Catastrophic Claims Account, is nearly $20 billion. Last year they spent a little over $600 and some million on claims from the Michigan Catastrophic Claims Account, at least by their own numbers. I'm hoping I read the forms right. But one thing I know I read right, that money is all Michigan residents' money. It's not from anybody else. It's just from us here in Michigan paying auto insurance. I'll be damned if I'm going to allow them to invest in other states. Right now they are currently invested in California, Florida, Ohio, Indiana, Illinois. That is Michigan taxpayer dollars. It needs to be invested in Michigan. Why the heck is our money being invested outside of the state? They like to tell me this. We can't make enough profit on Michigan. But it's our damn money. Invested in Michigan, not in these other states. These are the little games that the Republicans and the Democrats are letting go on. And this is what stops when I'm elected governor. No more is Michigan going to be taken advantage of by these lobbyists. This is the revolution that we start. This is Michigan taking care of our house, our people, not being treated as a blank check. All right. I'm sweating here because I'm getting wound up. Anybody got any questions before I sign off? It's right here in front of me, so if you have a question, ask it now, because I'm going to be signing off here in the next 2 minutes unless I get some more questions on here. All right, I thank you for coming to listen to me vent. I gave you as a choice if you wanted to hear me vent. I got wound up today at this Equal Pay Coalition. I got wound up because I seen all these senators and state reps standing back there, which they just about broke their own arms patting themselves on the back. You know, this should have been taken care of decades ago. We have laws on the books against discrimination. It's a matter of enforcing them for the people. Equality under the law for all of us. Not just certain parts of us, all of us. So again, I appreciate you coming to listen. Do me a favor, spread this video, make it go viral. I hope other candidates see this, and I can hope like heck they want to respond. I welcome anybody to come up and offer to debate with me. I will open this up. I'll open a can of worms that they don't want. This has to stop. We have to gather together. We have to unite. We have to win Lansing. This is what we need to do. I need you to, like I said earlier, I need you to get off the couch, go to your computers, use your phones, whatever it is. I need you to make donations to the campaign. I don't care if they're $3, $10, but I need your support. I need your help. I can't fund this all alone. I'm trying, but I can't do it. So enjoy your evening, and I'm glad to have you aboard there, Tony. I appreciate every bit of it. So help get this committee going. By the end of May, we need to have $50,000 in the account. We have to open our first campaign office. I found an office. We're checking into the rent, the utilities on it already. We need to get this office open. We picked Flint for a reason. Flint it's a part of my life as growing up. That was my stomping ground as a teenager. And many of my friends who I see on here all the time on Facebook, Flint was their stomping ground. That's why I chose it to open my first campaign office. You're welcome, Sean. Thank you for listening to me vent here. And again, thanks, Tony. Talk to your friends, talk to your families. Let them know there is a candidate that is really out here for the people. I'm not a Republican. I'm not a Democrat. I am here for the people as an independent. We need to stop the games that they're playing, and we need to show Lansing that we mean business. So like I said, I need your help and support. You have a wonderful evening. Thank you for allowing me to vent. And I've been told I need to get back into these Facebook Lives, but we've been really busy going out talking to people. But I will start to make time to come back on here. Maybe we'll even start doing some of these Facebook Lives from where I'm speaking at. And again, we are coming to Oscoda within the next couple weeks. It'll probably be just myself, but hey, I'm the one that has to win your hearts and souls. And I had a request tonight to get up to Houghton Lake and Higgins Lake, so we are coming. Within the next month, I promise you, I will be in Houghton Lake and the surrounding communities. I will come out to speak to you. You can reach me on Facebook. That's how you got a hold of me and told me that you want this. I have room for friends yet. I guess we're allowed 5,000, so I'd like to fill that up as quick as possible. But either way, get out there, tell the people that I'm out here for you. And make sure you let them know I'm an independent. I'm not part of the status quo. Go to my website, www.schleigerforgovernor2018.com. There's a lot more information on there. You'll find information about the state lottery system, schools, roads, anything that you need to know. I am very accessible on Facebook. I'm actually there where you can actually look on there and find my phone number. It's the same phone number that goes to wherever my phone is. I might have left it downstairs. I do take calls. If you have a question and you want to call me, my number's on Facebook. I'm not hiding from anybody. But I am going to get off here because I'm going to start rambling again. So, again, thank you. Enjoy your evening, and I will be back. Thanks.